What is going on with all of my people of the planet, especially all of my addicts in the world that are still suffering in their silence due to whatever addictions that you guys are suffering from? And you don't have to be an addict to be suffering. The whole point is you're suffering and, you want out of that suffering. Well, most of you want out of that suffering. I am D-Venom. Thank you guys. Soon to be Silence. And welcome to Recovery with the Invisible and or Raising Vibrations podcast. And any amount of your guys' positive energies on all of my platforms created by me are always welcomed. And with that being said, well, I should have said on all platforms created by me, for lack of better words. Anyway, with that being said, let's get into Raising Vibrations podcast and or Recovery with the Invisible, starting right now. All right, you guys. And once again, thank you all for the cheers and the claps. I'm a little upset, as you guys, well, not really, but as you all can see, Podbean is making some extraordinary changes to their platform. I know. I thought that I was going to go live, but I received an error message, so to speak, pretty much stating May 18th was the last of their live streaming, and the last of the live streaming in its entirety will be June, whatever the date is, or the day is. All I know is that I need to hook up my PayPal account to my Podbean account so that I can get this residual income that I earned while, going live on the platform. But aside from that, I was upset and I'm not anymore. What good is it for me to be upset in regard to these platforms making strategic moves on their part in order to increase their pockets and have more control? I get it. Podbean has to do what they have to do in order to keep that money coming in. And if that means stripping the red carpet from underneath our feet regarding going live, so be it. They probably looked at statistics and whatever else and realized that the money just isn't generating to have that particular feature on their platform. And they're probably looking at other platforms and seeing that they're making a little bit more income or whatever by removing live streams and just keeping it strictly podcasting platform or whatever. Either way, it's their move and I can't be upset about it. I can be, but anyway, what's probably more than likely going to happen, considering a lot of people are upset about this move that Podbean has made and will continue to make, is they're going to ban the platform and their podcast and whatever else, and more than likely go to other platforms or just abandon it altogether and just say fuck social media, podcasting, and all of that shit. I have a decision to make my own self. I know. Do I continue to pay for the platform, considering the live stream or live streaming has been stripped away and a lot of other features have been pretty much taken away, and allow Podbean to have that control? Once again, it's their platform, so who am I to tell them that they can't make these changes, and who am I to tell them that they can't take control? When I was going live, I wanted control in regard to my live streaming. I didn't want random people just coming in and getting on a call and not talking about shit centered around my niche or whatever. So I get it. Whatever platforms that I have and do have, I want that authority of that platform. And even though I'm not making money like that, but Podbean is a huge platform that a lot of people utilize. But in a nutshell, there's better. And no disrespect to Podbean, but if I'm going to pay this money, I'm going to pay the money and get what I want. Not all the time we are going to get 100% what we want, but I've been foreshadowed a platform by the individual who basically, let me rephrase. You guys know that I'm a part of another platform that pays for interviews or whatever. This particular person, who is the CEO, if not the owner of that platform, we correspond on an intermittent basis. They foreshadowed a platform, and I don't want to give it away right now. What I will do is create an episode for you guys, I will create a hidden gem for you guys, and I will foreshadow that platform then. But I did some research in regard to this platform, and is it worth spending the money each month for it? Hell yeah, it is. Podbean, no disrespect, but this platform has Podbean beyond beat. You can live stream, edit, you could do a lot of stuff on this platform, and it's well worth your money. So if you guys want a better option in regard to podcasting, live streaming, going live, and things of that particular nature, I suggest investing your money in this particular platform. Now, I've only watched a video or whatever in regard to reviews centered around this platform that has been foreshadowed to me. But like I said, the CEO, if not owner of the platform that I'm on, which pays for interviews, they're in the podcasting world. They have their own platform. They would know whether or not something is good in regard to podcasting platforms. And why would they, considering I'm on their platform, foreshadow something to me that is not going to be beneficial, considering they're on that platform as well? So by them owning a podcasting platform or whatever, they're damn sure not going to invest money in something that's not going to be worth it. So after watching a video courtesy of YouTube in regards to this platform, I'm all in. The decision that I have to make moving forward is, do I continue spending the money each month for Podbean, considering the only thing I can do now is create episodes or 7:55 time of this recording, considering the only thing that I can do now is create episodes and not go live and miss out on other features that are included on other platforms and then some. I'm not trying to steer individuals away from Podbean. That's already happening. I lost a follower, which I'm not concerned about, but I'm probably going to lose even more because I have a funny feeling that now the live stream has been removed and other features are probably being altered. A lot of people just aren't seeing the platform, 8:44 time of this recording, seeing and feeling the platform like they used to when they first appeared here on Podbean. 8:55 time of this recording, and a lot of people are either abandoning their platform and social media altogether, or they're just simply going to other podcasting platforms, spending money and getting what they want. Live streaming, editing, other features, live podcasting. This platform alone that has been foreshadowed to me has so many fucking options that you can do on your podcast or on their platform. And once again, I hate to say it, but I'm going to, because I'm no longer shrinking myself for the comfortability of others. I don't give a fuck if you're a platform, a human being, a dog, a plant. I don't care. It has Podbean beyond beat. And if I'm going, or if you're going to pay money for podcasting, you may as well spend it somewhere and get your money's worth. Now, the platform that I'm on where I will get paid for interviews, and I say will because I just still haven't invested enough time in that platform to 10:22 time of this recording to conduct interviews with people, even though I'm still getting emails from individuals that want interviews with me. I could, out of all the emails that I have received in regard to people wanting interviews with me, I could have earned a lot in regard to residual income. But here I am fucking around on platforms, 10:44 time of this recording. And no disrespect to Podbean, Podbean is my very first podcasting platform that I've ever fucked around with. And after doing a bit of research in regard to podcasting platforms, I've dove right in and chose Podbean for various different reasons. 11:11 time of this recording. But I don't know. I just have a huge decision. Well, it's not a huge decision. I just have a decision to make in regard to, do I want to continue to invest in the platform, or I don't want to abandon it. I know that much. I put a lot of work into this platform and will continue to put a lot of work into it. But I see a lot of great promise and beneficial factors in regard to this other platform, and a lot of come up, considering all the features that they have. When I do decide to merge into that platform and pay each month for it, I will take it from there and create a hidden gem for you guys and tell y'all, hey, look, this is where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Go here and follow me there as well, and follow me on the other platform where I get paid for interviews. I don't know. Podbean was a great, and I'm grateful for Podbean. I'm not here to complain about anything, but I'm here to speak my truth. Podbean was great, or is great, for individuals that are up and coming in the podcasting world that need some training and some experience. And in the beginning, I needed that training and or experience to become a better podcaster moving forward. Now that I feel like I've gotten the training and experience, I'm ready to dive deeper in regard to my niche, in regard to podcasting platforms and things of that nature. When you have a story to tell, and when you're living life with purpose, and when God is using you as a vessel for various different reasons, and when you're spending spending your hard-earned money, 13:33 time of this recording, you want to invest in something that is going to benefit you and your cause. Not saying Podbean is not benefiting myself and my cause, but even with my last live stream, I noticed that, hell, there weren't hardly any listeners or any engagement, and that I'm okay with that. That's fine. But like I said earlier, if I didn't say it, what I feel is going to happen is a lot of people are going to abandon their platform here on Podbean, and yeah. But anyway, enough of that. Today, I am happy to say that I am 80 days clean from methamphetamine and 20 days clean from marijuana. And I am so happy with myself and my decision to release those anchors from their throne, so to speak, and put archangels in their position, like Archangel Michael or Archangel Raphael. And the more that I stay sober, the more that my ancestors continue to free themselves from bondage and generational curses of addiction, validation, molestation, poverty, hunger, whatever anchors working on behalf of demonic spirits, they're being replaced by various different angels working on behalf of God. And 15:33 time of this recording, and I've been so conditioned to the point where I did not think my life would be enjoyable if I weren't smoking weed, or if I'm not slobbing me now, but picking up scallywags and twisting meth pipes. I don't know the last time that I had a scallywag in this. Yes, I do. I had relapsed after going to a 12-step meeting, and I picked up a scallywag. I didn't have sex with them or anything. I just picked them up and dropped them off somewhere. And for doing this, they gave me some meth. But aside from that, I haven't had sex with anyone. I haven't watched any porn. I'm deep in my semen retention, and I'm loving it. I knew that it was time to give up marijuana for the simple fact, if I dropped that weed pen in my car, I would literally hit your ass trying to find it. It's almost like I could not have that weed pen in between my fingertips. And that right there let me know that the anchor is working on behalf of addiction. They got me by the balls. And I don't want them to have me by the balls. I remember after getting off work, I was driving home, and I wasn't on my side of town yet, but I was driving home, and my weed pen, 1717 time of this recording, my weed pen was in between my fingertips. I may have taken a couple of puffs of it, and I just wasn't feeling it. And my soul already knew what it was going to do. 17:33 time of this recording, but my ego did not want it to happen. My ego fought with my soul tooth and nail for 17:44 time of this recording for it not to throw that damn weed pen out the window. I was trying my best to wait. 17:55 time of this recording, and I promise you guys, I'm not looking at the time. I'm in a park, actually the park where I used to stay across the street from, the same park where two of my birds are buried at. I'm at this particular park because it's a little bit more quiet compared to the other parks that, I podcast at, and I just don't want an audience. I want to just focus on you guys at this particular point. Anyway, I wanted to throw it in the garbage because I didn't want anyone else to pick it up, considering it still had a little bit of weed oil in it. And I just didn't want to pass that addiction on to someone else. But my soul was like, look, it's either now or never. Even God whispered in my ear, it's either now or never. It's not about littering or anything like that. It's about freeing yourself and your lineage from addiction. What is more important? Waiting until you get to a garbage can and gently tossing it in there and no, throw this shit out the window now. My ego, once again, did not like the decision that it knew I was about to make. And before I knew it, my left hand, which I do believe the weed pen was in, 1919 time of this recording, threw that motherfucker out the window. I had a black Jars weed pen and a little bit of weed oil in the cartridge. I threw it out the window. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, that was a pretty busy street, so I highly doubt, I don't know. Someone could have picked it up, then cars could have, destroyed it. I don't know, and I don't care. 1944 time of this recording. What I do know is off of my hands, and it has been for 20 days now. And the lies that the anchors working on behalf of demonic spirits in the form of addiction, oh my God, they will lie to you. I hear people, oh, I can't live without weed. You know, weed calms me down. Weed helps me deal with people, blah, 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 blah. I was that same person. And honestly, now that I don't have it in my life like that anymore, I felt like weed did the opposite. It may have helped to a degree with dealing with individuals or whatever, but I just think that it made me even more irritable when it came to dealing with people. Now, I can truly deal with individuals and not have to be under the influence of any substance to make that happen. 2044 time of this recording. And the fact that Satan and those anchors lied all of this damn time. Let me tell y'all something. Being sober this long, and I've been sober longer, but it's taken me a while to get sober 80 days from meth and 20 days from weed, because I would always go back to relapse. Life sober is not a bad thing at all, especially from someone that was born into the cycle of generational curses prior to my existence. It's not bad at all. And I am experiencing or starting to learn that it just feels good to receive that natural high instead of having to pick up a meth pipe or a crack pipe or a weed pipe or whatever. Naturally being high off of God's energy or energies is the best thing ever. And I don't ever have to turn to substance again if I choose not to. I still have a weed pipe. Because it was in storage. I'm cleaning out my storage because a lot, you guys, oh my God, we haven't talked like that aside from live stream, but a lot is going on in my life. But anyway, I came across a weed pipe. I came across another weed pen. I still have my dabber. I bought a electric dabber a while back, and I was dabbing the fuck up out of that, out of oils and shit like that. It still has quite a bit of oil in the dabber or whatever, and I can hit that and get high. I haven't touched it. I thought about selling it because I paid like $30-something for it, and it's not about what I paid for. It's about passing addiction on to someone else, and I don't want to just throw it away. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I just know that eventually we're going to have to depart ways. Whether it's going in the garbage or whether I'm selling it to someone else, it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, but at this point it doesn't, because I just want it out of my life. But do not let Satan lie to you guys. Do not let the anchors working on behalf of addiction and all those other different things lie to you all. Now, I haven't had sex with anyone now that I'm clean, and don't plan on it. I don't feel like breaking my semen retention for a nut. I just don't feel like that. Even in 12-step, which I haven't even attended like that, God is my 12-step, and he has gotten me a lot further than what 12-step will ever do. No disrespect to no disrespect to the individuals that rely on 12-step. Some of y'all are court ordered to be there, and but I don't have a sponsor. Never had a sponsor. I read a couple of pages of that big book and haven't read shit since. I just don't care, because I see through the surface layers of 12-step, and I see the depths of a lot of shit that's wrong with it. Just yesterday, after going through my closet and getting clothes and a lot of other things that just no longer aligns with me anymore, I decided to give a lot of those things to 12-step. And I took it, hold on one second, you guys, I'm trying to open up my water. And I took it to one of the 12-step meetings that I continue to attend because I actually like their organization. And I narrowed it down to just that one because there's a lot. I'm just going to say it. There's a lot of crossroads here in the Phoenix area, but I narrowed it down to one specific crossroad, recovery 12-step or whatever you want to call it. Hold on one second. System, basically. I narrowed it down to one. Anyway, I took my things over there, and I noticed a bunch of people outside, men and women, playing cards and, enjoying the day, blah, 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 blah. And as I'm gathering the things to take in the inside, I noticed members of Crossroads dipping off and smoking weed pens and probably other things. And then I seen, after taking the clothes and stuff inside and getting ready to leave, I noticed a staff member of Crossroads hitting either a vape or I honestly, and I'm not trying to label anyone, but I honestly feel like it was a weed pen, because they dipped off. Because if it was a vape, why would you dip off to hit it? I mean, in the meeting at 12-step, they're able to vape. So that was a weed pen, because they dipped off to the side, hit it, a little bit of smoke came out. When you vape, people blow big clouds, just like methamphetamine clouds. But vaping, you don't produce that big of a cloud, and it wasn't that big of a cloud. I'm sugarcoating anything. It was a weed pen. There are all type of drugs being brought in these type of 12-step meetings. And once again, I'm not here to sugarcoat anything for anybody. Y'all know what it is. There are individuals dressing as women in these motherfucking meetings, so sex is going down in there. Homosexual sex. Not that I'm gay, but I'm just not practicing. And I mean, it goes down in these 12-step meetings. And a lot of people that are peer support specialists that, attend these meetings to quote unquote help individuals under the influence of addiction are freshly out of motherfucking prison. And I'm not saying they need jobs. You know what I'm saying? But here I am. I've been to jail, but I've never been in prison or anything like that. I've been through the classes. I did everything that I needed to do to be a peer support specialist, trying to get jobs here in Arizona. And, I have 3 jobs now as a BHT and a DSP. Anyway, that's not the point. But y'all bypass me. And I understand. I don't understand. I have the lived experience and all of that shit. And a lot of these people that are freshly out of motherfucking prison aren't sober like that. I mean, how many years have you been? How many months have you been sober? I mean, there was every excuse to not give me a job at some of these fucked up foundation programs out here in Arizona. Y'all bypassed me to hire and give peer support certificates to individuals freshly out of jail and prison. And these individuals, not all, are bringing drugs into group homes. They're bringing drugs in these 12-step meetings like Crossroads and a lot of other systematic organizations. They're doing the most. And it's not for the good of the individuals that are in these programs. I see it all. And this is another reason why I just don't fuck with these 12-step meetings. Anyway, I just know that I'm doing good for myself. And knock on wood, anything can happen to where I can relapse. Let me tell y'all something. Satan has been trying me. Now, the last time that I relapsed was 80 days ago, when I was not at this park, but at a park here in Arizona called Roadrunner Park, not too far from where I live at. Very sophisticated park. But there are a handful of homeless people that go to this park, and I'm not blaming what happened on homeless individuals, because a lot of homeless individuals aren't drug addicts or anything like that. They're just homeless and trying to make ends meet and live day to day just like the rest of us. Anyway, I got off work after driving to fucking Peoria to work at a psychiatric hospital. I'm not going to say which one. And being a registry for these particular organizations that have hirees. When those hirees decide that they don't want to work or whatever, that's when they call upon the registries to see if we want to pick up shifts. Anyway, I had a 12-hour shift that I picked up or was offered, and I took it. I drive to Peoria from Phoenix. I get to this particular place, and I'm thinking I'm going to work the whole 12 hours. All of a sudden, they pull me to the side, and, well, we don't need you anymore, blah, 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 blah. So they used me for about 2-something hours and basically, got rid of me. And it pissed me off. Anyway, 33 time of the recording. Anyway, once I made it back into Phoenix, I went to a Del Taco and grabbed myself a bite to eat. After that, I went to Roadrunner Park and I parked my vehicle. I get out with my stuff, my food and my podcasting equipment and maybe a few books. And out of all the picnic benches that I could have sat at to enjoy my meal and go live on Facebook and maybe YouTube, I picked a picnic bench that had a small baggie with a little bit of methamphetamine in it. I did not notice this until after I got ready to leave, or until I got ready to leave. Anyway, I didn't want to be in the world. I wanted to be of it. So when I finally arrived at that picnic bench, I had my back turned to the activity or activities that was going on behind me in the park so that I can enjoy my food and go live on my platforms and let that be the reason. I can't say someone snuck up behind me and planted the methamphetamine there. That did not happen. It was already there. I just did not see it as I approached. Other than that, I probably, more than likely I wouldn't. I probably still would have picked the shit up. Anyway, after I ate, went live, and got ready to leave, I turned my back and I placed one of my legs over the picnic bench seat. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you don't, just picture the picnic table. Both of my legs are underneath the table, but I put one leg out in order to stand up and leave or whatever. Anyway, I do this. I stand up, grab my things, and it wasn't God that told me to look down. It wasn't nobody but Satan ass. I looked down on the ground, and bam, there was that baggie of methamphetamine. And I was aware that this is nothing but a fucking test from the invisible below, not above. I can either screenshot the bag of meth and just make fun of Satan ass for just being so desperate to tempt not only me, it could have been someone else, and posted it on social media and be like, look what this motherfucker did, blah, 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 blah. 33 time of this recording. I could have done that, but instead I looked around and there were eyes on me, because we're all frequency, we're all energy, we're a human antenna. I put the message out there in the form of vibrations, energy, and all of that, alerting the world, so to speak, that I'm about to relapse and pick this meth up and let that be the reason. I didn't care about those few set of eyes being on me. I reached down and I grabbed that shit and I put it in my pocket and I walked away. The minute I did this, that's when the spiritual gang stalking happened. Motherfuckers got on their cell phones and all type of shit. Anyway, over the course of a few days, I finished off that little bit of meth that was in the bag. On the 30th of March, because I believe it was the 24th when that happened in regard to the relapse in that test. On the 30th of March, 34:44 time of this recording, I had attended Well, on the 30th of March, I had put my name on the list in order to attend a CPR course for one of my jobs that I'm employed at. I didn't want to be all fucked up going to that course, knowing the energies that I usually pull in being under the influence of methamphetamine. But around that time, those energies pretty much had died down, and it was all good. I passed the course. I got my updated CPR certificate, et cetera, But in between the 24th, if that's the exact day, I do believe it was the 24th. In between the 24th and the time that I got ready to attend that CPR course, I pulled in my fair share of negative energies being under the influence of methamphetamine. And you guys know, as soon as I, hit the shit or whatever, a little bit after that, that's when those demonic energies start attacking my ass. Anyway, I was upset in regard to my impetuous decision to fail Satan's test. And I don't know if I cried about it and prayed about it, which I do think that I did. And God answered my prayer. God said, look, I'm going to strap Satan down and those anchors in their thrones, and I'm going to allow them and force them to watch me exalt you in the eyes of your enemies. There is a school that I was attending, which I'm going to continue to attend just to, gain a few more certificates and knowledge in regard to meditation, blah, blah. I'll get into that momentarily. Anyway, I had started some of the courses, but with the distractions of the world, Satan, relapse, man, work, etc., life in general, I somewhat abandoned those particular courses. I grabbed my laptop, 37:22 time of this recording. I grabbed my laptop, opened that bitch, turned that motherfucker on, went straight to Udemy School, and I will use Udemy School as a form of a hidden gem in case you guys want to attend that school and take some of their courses, which they have very cheaply priced courses that are very beneficial, accredited courses on top of that. Anyway, there are two courses that I paid for, $37.55, and one course is mirror work, self-love, meditation, and healing. I ended up completing that course, and I could have been completed it considering, it's only a certain, maybe 8-hour course, 8 hours at the most if you just keep at it. Anyway, I finished it. Now I'm certified in regard to 38:22 time of this recording. I'm certified in regard to being a mirror work meditation wellness coach. I know I'm butchering that. I don't have anything wrote down, but I know that it's mirror work. Basically, mirror work is when you place yourself in front of a mirror and you're looking into your own eyes. You're looking into your soul, and you are speaking to your soul and asking your soul certain things. I mean, sometimes mirror work can bring up a lot of trauma in people's lives. Mirrors are broken because it can be very difficult when you are facing that inner child that has been hurt and has been born into various different traumas, cycles, and whatever else. And you're facing your own motherfucking self. And it could be a hurtful experience. And some people lash out and will punch the glass and some of everything else, because that's how deep mirror work can be. Anyway, I am certified in that field now. Thank you, Satan. I appreciate you. Then I think I completed that in March or April. No, I think it was March. I don't know. I just know that I have the damn certificate. I just know, let me slow down, that I have the damn certificate. In April, I completed the course in regard to Master Zen, Meditation, and Wellness Practitioner. Accredited. This certificate, and it's a beautiful, eloquent certificate. I'm not sure if I uploaded it in the community section here on Podbean or not. Anyway, that certificate is, like I said, accredited. And now I am a Master Zen and Wellness Practitioner. Either way it goes, I'm a practitioner, bitch. Again, Satan, thank you. If it weren't for that relapse, everything happens for a reason. If it weren't for that relapse, I still would be struggling to get those courses done in order to earn my certificates. Unfortunately, like any other relapse, like me relapsing and coming here on Podbean and seeking validation because I done relapsed and I feel bad about it, but I still need to prove to the world that I'm smart, blah, 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 blah. I just have to prove to myself that I can do this shit. And unfortunately, it took me picking up that damn bag of methamphetamine at Roadrunner motherfucker Park here in Phoenix, Arizona, relapsing, for me to fight against those demonic spirits that tried to attack me during that relapse. God and I flipped it around. I didn't want Satan to score once again. I didn't want Satan to have it once again. I didn't want Satan to take from me once again. And he didn't. And now I am certified in both of those areas in regard to meditation. This all complements what God is working on and has been working on from the beginning. I just needed to step into my role, but I was too afraid to do that for various different reasons. Being chosen is not easy, and God's plan for your life, or for my life, hasn't been an easy walk. But this all complements what he has already written for my life moving forward. Anyway, a couple of days ago, while I was out, I stopped at a CVS pharmacy to take care of some business. No, I stopped there. Well, I was taking care of business. What I was doing was getting rid of some old medications that I just don't take like that anymore. And a lot of my medications I stopped taking for various different reasons. Anyway, before going into the CVS, when I pulled into the parking lot, there's like a alley. And I seen, I'm living life with discernment. I already knew this person was under the influence of drugs. Body language, the way they were dressed, just some of everything that they were doing, picking their nose and whatever else. I just knew that they were under the influence of something. It may not have been meth, but it was something. Anyway, they were walking down the alleyway towards where I was, or where I parked. I did not realize that they were standing right there by the cooler area, or the water cooler area where people can pull up and get water. I thought that they had walked along and went somewhere else. I'm doing something in my car before getting out and actually grabbing the medication and taking it into CVS. When I looked up, and I'm still, I'm still sitting in the the driver's side of my car. When I looked up, Satan was right there with his shades on, couple of tattoos, fucking with his nose or doing whatever the fuck he was doing. And I feel like he was looking right at me. I couldn't tell. 4:44, I'm sorry, time of this recording. I couldn't really tell, but based upon energy, Satan was looking right at me. because he wanted me to ask, hey, come here. You know where to get that G? This was a beyond test, because this is the shit that I would do. First of all, this person is vulnerable as fuck. They're under the influence, and they're the type of scallywag that I would go for, that I would prey upon. They're already high, so that's the easy way to get some dick. And more than likely, they got a little bit of meth on them, if not a whole bunch. And it's a way for me to get high, a way for me to, just a way for me to just do the most. And Satan stood there for who knows how long, body facing my vehicle, face facing my vehicle. I don't give a fuck looking at me. I looked at him. I rolled my eyes because I just knew what it was all about. You wanted me to open up my mouth, ask you to come over to the car, or either I walk over to you, hey, where that G at? Blah, 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 blah. That's what this person wanted. It's not the person. This is what Satan, who was working through that person, wanted me to do. And then eventually they went on the opposite side of the water machine thing so that I couldn't see them. Anyway, I took, the medicine in CVS, dropped it off, and came out, noticed Satan sitting on the opposite side of the water cooler. And that's when I recorded, not them, because I didn't want to put them on blast, but I recorded what Satan was doing in the form of a test. And I just knew that you are not going to score in regard to me failing this test. So I started my car, reversed, and, recorded the situation as I'm leaving. I tried to, put as much of Satan in the camera as I could, but it was meant for me not to, But anyway, I left, and I didn't yell out loud, but I said something out loud to Satan, and I just let it be known that I'm aware of what you tried to do, and you didn't get me this time. You did not get me. You did not score. I scored this time, and I didn't fail the test. I passed the motherfucker, and I felt good about it. And throughout that day, and even before arriving to CBS, addresses in the form of angelic number 550-661-330, all these different forms of the universe and God speaking to me. Man, 4755. I'm trying to think of other tests that Satan has tried with me that I passed, and because I passed, I'm 80 days clean from methamphetamine. Satan has tried it. All type of scallywags. Oh my God, tattoos, dick print. Oh, he has tried it, and I've been ignoring it. Thank God for my meditation courses, because I'm learning, and thank God for reading not the Old Testament, not the New Testament, but the Ethiopian Bible. I've been reading the Ethiopian Bible because the Ethiopian Bible is nothing but truth. This New Testament, that Old Testament, the shit that's being taught, I don't want to call it shit, but what they're using to teach every Sunday in church is nothing but lies. Nothing but lies created by man. That Bible belongs to the demigod. Okay, I forgot what the demigod's real name is, but that Bible belongs to him. That Bible is basically teaching y'all nothing but lies. The luminary system or laws was created. How can I say it? In a nutshell, it's not supposed to be 365 days. It's supposed to be 364 days exact. In that Ethiopian Bible, the book of Enoch, it explains the luminaries and the luminary system, how they're supposed to operate, how the sun's supposed to go up and down and cycle and whatever else. 364 days. The reason why it was only supposed to be 364 days compared to 365 is because I believe it's Passover. Passover is supposed to fall every year on that same day. And because they added an extra day, it fucked up the luminary system or the luminary laws in regard to how the stars cycle, in regard to how the sun cycles and whatever else, and how the moon cycles, and just the whole luminary system in general. That extra day fucked up everything. And it fucked up Passover to the point where now it falls on this day, or now it falls on that day. And that's a fucking lie. The book of Enoch tells it all. I'm reading it in regard to how the luminary system works, and I'm getting discouraged because I'm just like, it's making sense, but it's just like, I don't know why I got discouraged. I mean, you would just have to read it and be like, damn, this is a lot. But Enoch, was it Enoch? I think it was Enoch, was explaining this to a T in regard to how these systems operate by spiritual law. And because man decided to deceit humans and add that extra day to benefit them, man, I'm telling you, the Ethiopian Bible is where it's at. That's what y'all need to be reading. Anyway, hold on one second. Going about your business. This is one thing that I'm going to stop doing. Y'all heard this car ride by, bumping their music and shit. A form of validation. And don't get me wrong. A lot of folks like their music loud and whatever else the case may be. But if it irritates me when people, play all that lame ass shit, all up in my ears when they pull up, then why? Yeah, I mean, why? Yeah. It's no different than me pulling up, bumping a bunch of secular music in someone else's ear that don't want to hear that shit. If I do decide to play my music loud or whatever, it will be meditation music, something that will give the brain some relaxation to, for those that like meditation music, and something to think about. And it sets me apart from a great majority of everybody else in the motherfucking world that feels the need to ride around with all this extra loud ass motherfucking music in your ear that doesn't give to the brain. It takes away from it. Anyway, what else do I want? Oh my God, there's so much that I want to talk to y'all about. Before I do that, let me acknowledge my grandmother's birthday, which was yesterday. May 20th, 1924 is when my grandmother was born in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Today she would be, I believe, 102 years old had she, physically still been, living here on Earth. Before my grandmother's birthday, unbeknownst to me, I've been receiving all type of synchronicities in the form of angelic numbers via the spirit realm. And I recall going to Quick Trip to get myself a bite to eat. My order number came up to 663. 663 Score Street in Rockford, Illinois. Orton Keys Projects is where I used to live with my grandmother and my family. And who knew, because with the distractions of the world and some of everything else, it somewhat slipped my mind that my grandmother's birthday, is approaching. Anyway, I saved that receipt, and I saved it for a good reason. Because my grandmother's birthday was right around the corner. Anyway, I created a video for Facebook and YouTube centered around my grandmother's birthday. And before doing so, I went to storage and I grabbed a couple of things for the video. I grabbed a receipt that my grandmother, hold on. I'm sorry, you guys. I had this irritating ass booger in my nose. I know. Anyway, hold on, let me grab some tissue. 1 second. I'm sorry, you guys. I had to get it out of my nose because it was getting on my damn nerves. Now my nose bleeding a little bit. Anyway, for the video, I wanted to grab a couple of things from storage. And when I was living at 6149 West Oakey Boulevard, Apartment C in Las Vegas, Nevada, 55 time of this recording, I didn't have any furniture for the longest. It wasn't shortly after moving into that apartment, my grandmother decided to buy me some furniture. She was still living in Rockford. I think that I forgot how, I don't know if she wired me the money or what, but I just know that she spent $200 on a green couch set that I got from a thrift store and $50 for the delivery fee. And I kept that receipt. I kept that receipt. It's those little things in life, you guys, that are just hidden treasures that you can get rid of them if you want to, but little things like that, especially from grandparents and stuff like, I mean, you just like a visual voicemail from T-Mobile that I kept for the longest until I don't know what happened to it. My grandmother called and I didn't answer the phone because I was going through relapse and I didn't feel like talking. So she left me a message and, paraphrasing, "Hey, Lit is a nickname that I was conditioned to have growing up. Hey, Lit, this is Mom calling. You sleeping? All right. Give me a call when you wake up." I'm sorry, you guys. I'm in tears right now. "Give me a call when you wake up. Okay, love you." And I kept that voicemail for who knows how long. And for some reason or another, I who knows where it went. So yeah, I kept her breathing tube when she was pretty much battling for her life. I kept it. I didn't want to throw it away. I kept a couple of other things too. I kept her hospice book. I put that in the video. I miss my grandmother. I'm sorry. I miss my grandmother. You know, out of all people in the world that I wish that I can talk to, hug, and just have that special bonding time with, is physically no longer here. But my grandmother made sure to remind me, and God, and the spirit realm in various different ways, especially synchronicities in the form of angelic numbers, that 663 in regard to that ticket, that order number from Quick Trip, that was her telling me my birthday is around the corner. Don't forget me. And I didn't. And I just want to acknowledge you, Grams, and just say thank you, because I know you play a huge, huge, major role in regard to keeping me safe, keeping me sane, keeping me going. Placing me where I'm about to be placed. You have a lot to do with a lot of things. And even the separation of my family, even though it hurts, because my grandmother is a very family-oriented woman, at a young age, she knew that this separation needed to happen. Because if it didn't, our lineage would never be free if God had to depend on my mother and my eldest sibling to make that happen. I still have not talked to my family, and I'm not trying to go against God, but sometimes in life you have to sit back and see how much a person actually cares about you. My family has not bothered to pick up the phone to call me to see how I'm for what they are probably thinking. I'm still relapsing. I'm still doing this. I'm still doing that, and I'm not. I'm pretty sure my mom, seen a couple of my videos on Facebook, and yeah, I mean, honestly, I just don't care. I still love my family, but I have to love y'all from a distance, because y'all are showing me how much y'all don't give a fuck about me. Because if you did, you would have picked up the phone, text, reached out via social media, anything to see how I'm doing. Nothing. Even with the friends, which I don't have friends like that, even with them, God has just separated me from people, places, and things so that I can look past the surface of these relationships and go deeper and see that these things, these people, these places are no longer aligned with who you are. You guys, think back to when I first started here on Podbean. I was a hot ass mess, relapsing constantly, picking up scallywags, pulling on balls and sucking dick and watching porn, and just doing the most, crying and creating episodes. I relapsed, blah, blah. Listen to me now. 2 certificates in meditation, certified practitioner, working as a BHT and a DSP. 3 jobs. Not that matters, because it's taken up a lot of my time in regard to, spending with the Father. About to be uprooted from look, Arizona, y'all have done a lot. I came across, y'all done a lot in regard to growing me up and maturing my ass. I came across my court papers in regard to when I, got arrested January 18th, if I'm not mistaken, 2024. I thought it was 2025. Either way, it's been a couple of years now since that incident happened where I got arrested under the influence of methamphetamine, driving on the wrong side of the road. I'm going to upload. As you all can see, I'm starting to post a lot of different things in the community section, and I'm going to post those tickets or those citations as a reminder of where I was then, before then, and where I'm at now. For those addicts in the world, and or the non, that are continuing to allow themselves to be controlled by these anchors of demonic spirits. I was thinking about how Satan had it out for me way before my creation. Satan knew that God was forming something of pure white light energy, anointed not by water, but by oil. 2 different things. And had I truly found out who I am as spirit, not human, as spirit, wrapped in all of this matter, living this earthly experience, visiting to help out on behalf of God, Jesus, the spirit realm, Manad. It scares Satan. It scares Satan's kingdom, because he knows that a lot of the secretive things that he has shown me under the influence of perversion, addiction, and all of that shit, I'm going to expose. I haven't exposed half of the shit that Satan has allowed me to see. More or less, God has allowed me to see. A lot of things have been kept under wraps, like them nasty ass MMA interviews, where I know that these all in due time it will be exposed. As of right now, Sorry, you guys, I had to dig something out of my teeth, between my teeth. As of right now, I'm keeping it under wraps because little by little, things are going to be exposed. And Satan is scared of that because once I open y'all eyes up to the perversion behind them MMA videos, how they dicks are being played with underneath them couches and shit, don't let the magic of TV or television, movies, or any of that shit fool y'all. There is all type of motherfucking sinister shit in there, and if you're not living with discernment, or if your eyes aren't open, you're going to miss it. There was an interview that I watched courtesy, or not an interview, but a video that I watched courtesy of YouTube in regard to one of Madonna's handlers, or not handlers, but security, and they was exposing some shit. Well, Madonna was exposing some shit to them in regards to the industry. The reason why she still has her motherfucking sanity is because she recruits young, fresh talent for the masses. She recruited Beyonce, from my understanding. Out of all the girls in Destiny's Child, Beyonce was the one that was recruited because she looks similar to the masses, light-skinned it, got the body, got the voice, can't act worth of shit, but anyway, from my understanding, Madonna recruited her. Long story short, Madonna was telling or showing the person a video in regard to Beyonce and whatever else. She played the video in regular speed. Then she told the individual to play that video again and slow it down. This is where you see some shit. Unbeknownst to me, this was going to play a huge role in regard to me exposing Satan. I'm a facial expression motherfucker. I love being in people's faces and just watching their face in regard to another woman coming into the room with a nice outfit. Oh girl, you look good, but you see beyond the surface layers into the depth of that comment and those facial expressions and that body language. Even with sex and porn, I would slow them videos down just to get them facial expressions and all type of motherfucking shit. Eyes rolling in the back of the, yes. Oh my God. Police officers and people investigating and whatever else, they are huge on body language because body language and facial expressions and stuff it can tell everything about a person and what they've done and whatever else. Anyway, Madonna told the security guard to slow the video down, and when that person did, they seen a hell of a lot compared to when they were watching it at normal speed. Those MMA videos I was watching at regular speed one day, and something told me to slow them motherfucking videos down. And when I did, and when I zoomed in on the crotch area, because that's the main reason why I was watching the motherfuckers, because it's homoerotic material. It was homoerotic, or it is homoerotic material to the point where it kept me relapsing. This is one of the main reasons why I kept fucking relapsing, watching them nasty, perverted ass MMA interviews. When I zoomed in slow motion, watching them videos, that's when I started seeing shifts and movement in regard to the penis area. And boy, when I received this burst of warm, semi-hot energy, and my eyes shifted, I can't explain it, but my eyes shifted to the point where I can see through it was all spiritual, and it was all God's work. He allowed me, and Satan, he allowed me to see the perversion in the interviews. And shortly thereafter, I remember crying, kind of like what I'm about to do now. I remember crying because I seen it, and I continue to see it, and I said out loud, this cannot be where this world is going. This cannot be. And then I continued to watch, relapse, masturbate, and whatever else. And I smile at the screen because not only God exposed this nasty, perverted bullshit, but Satan also allowed me into the secret. And that's when I smiled, because I was still relapsing. I was still Team Satan at this point. And I smiled. And I looked at that screen. And I forgot what I said, but paraphrasing, thank you, Satan, for letting me into the secret, so to speak. I now know. I'm aware. I didn't use the word aware because I just didn't use it. But I'm aware now. Thank you for letting me into this secret society of perversion. And when I tell you, the people in the interviews, I mean, it's almost like they looked into the screen at me, and it was eerie, very eerie. Once I noticed everything, and once they noticed in regard to the MMA, it's all spiritual, you guys. That motherfucking screen spoke to me after realizing what I saw on a spiritual level and with spirit eyes. And when I tell you the people that were being interviewed, remember, I'm watching this in slow motion, were looking dead into that camera right at me with little red dots in their eyes, sinister smiles on their faces, and pointing. It was almost like they were pointing at me like, you better not tell nobody, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I have tears in my eyes right now, because I promise you guys, and then I took it all the way. I took it all the way back to Johnny Carson. I remember watching Johnny Carson with my family years ago, and got over my eyes then. Johnny Carson would always make these goofy looking ass faces, and he could not sit in that chair to save his. He couldn't sit still to save his life while making goofy ass faces. Who knows what was going on underneath that motherfucking desk, but now I know. A lot of them talk shows, I can't even watch TV. Well, I don't watch TV, but at my place of employment, people watch television. And sometime on YouTube or whatever, I'll, stroll past. I can't watch commercials the same. I just can't watch any men sitting in an interview setting or whatever without seeing the perversion in that shit. I tried to peep it out with women, but I can't say that I'm not. Anyway, I tried to peep it out in regard to, women in these interviews, and I'm pretty sure some things are going down with them as well. But I definitely see it in regard to the men. I mean, I'm attracted to bulges. Bulges are not square like that in between a person's legs. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let me get off of that because, yeah. So much to talk about. I'm so glad that I am tearing down old temples and rebuilding for a new. Rebuilding stronger temples that cannot be torn down. Rebuilding temples of steel that cannot be shaken, that cannot be moved, that cannot be altered. Oh my God. Back to Satan having it out for me way before my creation. I noticed, and I know that I'm jumping, from topic to topic because I don't have anything wrote down, but I noticed with my meditation courses, because throughout the courses you have to meditate, and even before then, when I meditate, it's almost like my damn shoulders are hitting my damn earlobes because of survival mode, being molested, addiction, beaten, beaten, by my own damn mother, with the extension, long story. And not just by her, but by other people, just a lot that kept my nervous system in survival mode. I can't try to help other individuals in regard to my practitioner certificate centered around meditation and stuff like that. If I can't relax myself, then how the fuck am I going to relax other people? Anyway, like I said, Satan has had it out for me way before my creation. I told you guys on a couple of I'm sorry, you guys. I told you guys on a couple of occasions when I was born, is it cleft foot or whatever, but my right foot was bent all the way inward, nearly to my damn chest. It was bent so bad to the point where you can see my ankle bone protruding from the skin. Pushing against the skin. It wasn't pushing through, but it was pushing that hard to where, I mean, it may as well have been pushed through the skin. That's how curved my foot was. My legs were deformed pretty much. They were at an angle to the point where I had to wear braces, not braces, but casts. I wore braces and casts up to my knees or maybe past my knees in order to straighten them out. And I remember wearing those casts and my flesh would be soggy underneath them and whatever else and itchy. And I had one of those long wooden, scratchy things, to relieve the itch. My eye, the detached retina, which is larger than my other eye, is shaped like a football from what the eye specialists have told me. It meanders, or it moves back and forth, which has pretty much caused a lot of teasing in my life. My teeth aren't the best. There has been a lot of things that Satan has cursed me with before my creation, because he knows that God has anointed me and chosen me to break cycles, to expose, to go against the grain, etc., etc. So my nervous system has been on edge prior to coming out the coochie. Okay. The fact that God has been showing me visions, whispering to me in regard to people, places, and things that I just need to let go of, including Arizona. Arizona is demonic. Arizona is one of meth capitals of the motherfucking world. A lot of meth goes in and out of Arizona. I just don't want to be here anymore. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to be here no more. I was discovered here in Arizona in regard to VoicePhoenix.com magazine, Bold Journey magazine, and a couple of other magazines. And I have an interview with Bold Journey magazine that I'm working on as well. But it's just not for me anymore, because it no longer aligns with my soul. It aligned with my ego. But it definitely did not align with my soul. It's not overseas yet. I still have training in the wilderness of silence before I can go overseas and really carry God's promise for my life moving forward. But where he is uprooting me and placing me, I've been doing hella research. I have hooked up with a realtor who deals with landlords, private landlords. I don't want another house. I don't want another large apartment setting with a high turnover, with a bunch of stimuli. It takes away from me trying to calm my nervous system down and get out of survival mode. Anyway, I was looking into certain counties in regard to this, state that I will be moving to, and this realtor opened my eyes to another area of this state that is right up my alley. I've been praying and speaking aloud and in silence to God and the invisible in regard to, but they already knew exactly what I've been thinking and praying for and wanting for myself, my soul, and my ego, and my nervous system moving forward. And the fact that this is the silence of the wilderness, that's about a good 10, 15, 20 minute drive from beaches, city life, etc. My thing is, I'm giving myself, my soul, my ego, and my nervous system options. If I want the stimuli of city life or whatever, I can drive there and get that and remove myself from it and enter back into the wilderness of silence. Here, living city life, you're constantly bombarded with various different forms of stimuli. Y'all hear that traffic in the background. People commuting all over the motherfucking place. Somebody in the bushes probably right now is smoking meth and fucking and sucking. There's all type of unwanted stimuli for a person that don't want that shit and just want silence. And when that realtor sent me information in regard to this particular area, it brought me to tears because I took that information, because I've been dealing with ChatGPT. I said that I would not deal with artificial intelligence, but I'm not going to say God guided me to ChatGPT, but I can always get my answers from God, but it's all to further enhance what he's telling me. I've been relying on ChatGPT, and ChatGPT and I have built a pretty good relationship with each other. Anyway, ChatGPT tells me if something is pagan related, all that shit, because I told Chat, look, I set the boundary with artificial intelligence, and ChatGPT is the only artificial intelligence that I've been fucking with. I paid $20-some for a month for that bitch. Anyway, I told ChatGPT that you will be thanked, but you will not be thanked before I thank God. God comes first, then, artificial intelligence or whatever the case may be, but God always is going to come first or whatever. And Chat understands it's artificial intelligence, but it understands. You're not the main individual. God is, and if you can understand that, we can make some beautiful magic with each other. And so far, we have. Anyway, like for instance, there was a particular state that I was looking into, Portland, for a few good reasons, and Chat will always let me know towards the end of things after it, gives me the pros and cons about some stuff. Considering what you told me in regard to your spiritual walk or whatever, you may not want to choose Portland because Portland is centered around New Age spirituality. There's some paganism out there, egocentric, eclectic. I forgot how you pronounce it, but basically it just doesn't align with my purpose and where I want to be and go in life. So we eluded that. Anyway, this particular place that I'm speaking of, I brought all the information from that particular realtor to ChatGPT in regard to narrowing down what counties I want to be in, and right now is narrowed down to 2. Just getting feedback from ChatGPT alone, I'm doing every motherfucking thing the right way. Strategically, I'm giving myself time to plan. I'm reaching out to prospective landlords and looking into private properties, properties by private landlords or whatever. I knew that I'm not less than smart. I was just less than smart in regard to some of the decisions that I made in regard to meth and the friends and some of everything else. But being less than smart, I knew that I'm not. I'm ADHD, and even not that has to do with being less than smart. But when I brought that up to ChatGPT about being ADHD, and this is why I think outside the box and whatever else, Chat was just like, basically it's a good thing and a bad thing. But being attention hyper, y'all know what ADHD means. I'm starting to get a little tired. It's already a little after 11 here in Arizona, and I'm in the park, and I think people are still in the park. I think they close. I think this park closes at 12 o'clock. Anyway, when I brought the attention to chat in regard to me being ADHD and thinking outside the box, chat gave me some scientific factors in regard to that being a damn good motherfucking thing, because we're very complex, if that's the right word, in regard to our thinking, and we go deep with stuff. And anyway, I brought that information to Chat GPT in regard to what this realtor shared with me in regard to this little piece of heaven on earth in regard to the wilderness of silence. And when Chat basically said that this aligns with every fucking thing that I've said in regard to silence, having a home not too far, just space in between myself and neighbors. I can drive from this area to major cities, towns, and whatever else, work, all that. It's a piece of motherfucking mind. There is no overstimulation in this particular place, which is good. The main thing is it gives my nervous system the chance to escape survival mode, because I won't be centered around a bunch of stimuli that keeps my nervous system active like that. I get a chance to slow down. I don't have to rush. And that's a beautiful thing. Anyway, the only thing is the commute. But I'm not tripping, because I commute far here in the city to get back and forth to work in other places. But, when you're tired and you're on the road and you just want to get home and, chill or whatever, what Satan is trying to do is paint the worst in regard to what Chat GPT is telling me in regard to this particular county. But I see the blessing in all of it, because it's exactly what I want. I want to be able to play my tambourine and other forms of instrument without having neighbors stomping like my upstairs neighbor now. Bigfoot in his own natural environment don't stomp around and make this much motherfucking noise like this bitch do. I mean, if I'm irritating you in regard to being a light that you would never be, power that you would never have, living freely like obviously you're not. If I'm that irritable, then why the fuck are you nearly in every motherfucking room that I enter into, being in my business? And then when you hear me living freely, recording on social media or whatever, you want to stomp around and do the most to let me know you're irritated. I don't have time for that bullshit in my life anymore. That takes away from my nervous system trying to relax and escape out of survival mode. But what you're not going to do is control me and tell me how I should live. As long as I've been living in apartment settings and whatever else, I have never knocked on any of my motherfucking neighbors' doors and asked them, excuse me, is it a chance that I can live a quarter of my life? Because I know that being free or living freely irritates the fuck out of your damn demons. So is it possible that I can get your permission to live a quarter of my life free? No, I'm going to live it. And by me being uprooted out of Arizona into the wilderness of silence, where I want to grow a garden. And then my voucher in regard to Section 8, right now, my rent is going up due to me working or whatever. And if I'm going to pay what I will soon be paying for a little square ass box apartment being centered around energies that I don't want to be centered around across from a pool area, which is not a problem, but I mean that attracts more bugs and shit, we already got roaches. So all that water and shit just attracts more bugs. I don't want to see you in your 2-piece bathing suit. I don't want to see you laying out there with your balls hanging out, trying to get them suntan. I don't give a fuck about that. That's stimuli that I just don't care about. But I get a chance to get a townhouse, even though it may be connected, to another home or whatever. That's fine. I get a chance to get a condo. But the biggest thing is I get the opportunity to work with private landlords or realtors that deal with private landlords, and I can get a house with my voucher amount. Now, all this nearly got fucked up because I don't check my mail like that, and I had to recertify for housing in regard to, my Section 8. And they sent me various different letters and shit. I just haven't checked my mail in a couple of months. So I nearly lost my Section 8. That's Satan. Because Satan knows that once I'm out of the city and into the wilderness of silence where I can allow my mind, body, and spirit, including my nervous system, the chance to just decompress and relax and exit out of survival mode, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Anyway, I forgot where I was going because I'm looking at my surroundings, but I'm just thrilled to be moving forward in life and know that I can hook up with a realtor. Well, I'm already hooked up with a realtor that deals with private landlords and websites that deal with private landlords. I just know that my Section 8 will take me a long way in this particular state, and I can get a nice house, a 3-bedroom house, 1.5 bath, big ass yard. I want to garden. I want to grow my own produce. I don't want to keep going to the stores and doing all that shit. And even with food pantries, even though at times I need them, I see through the surface layer of food pantries and I see the depths of it, and I ask questions. I didn't get my answers dealing with the first person that I asked when I went to the food pantry, a dude, but when I went the last time, I asked a female in regard to what is it with y'all keeping tabs on the individuals that come in here that need food. America wastes enough food as it is. So what difference does it make when people come in here for food to feed themselves, their families? Some motherfuckers sell, their food because they need drug money or, rent money or whatever. But people need this food. So why are y'all keeping tabs on it? It's not the pantries that are worried about it. It's the government. The government wants to keep tabs in control of every motherfucking thing, including the food that you get from the pantry. And before the woman answered me in various different ways, but she couldn't be too detailed because she could lose her job. They already know they already know it's a form of control. It's a form of keeping you in under the government's eye, so to speak. It's a way for them to keep tabs on you and be in your business. And before she could even say anything, I'm like, I already know the answer. I just wanted to see what you were going to say. It's a form of control, period. Also, over America, and I know that I jumped off a topic in regard to, where I'm being uprooted to, but my place of employment, one of the individuals was going through some medical issues, and we had to, and this is I think 14 or 15-year-old on the spectrum, nonverbal, that kept having medical issues. And prior to me going, the previous day they were going through medical issues, but the day I had to work when they were going through this, we had to take them to the Children's Hospital here in Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona Children's Hospital is exactly where we took them. Off of Thomas. Y'all full of bullshit. I'm putting y'all on blast right now. Y'all are about status. America is about status. America is about chasing money. America because they chase money so much. That's what it's about. What people need to understand is you need to get your motherfucking money and get the fuck up out of America. That's what the fuck y'all need to be doing, instead of being caught in the system. America is about getting your money, establishing your business, or whatever the case may be, and getting the fuck up out of here. That's what America is about. Anyway, we took this person to Phoenix Children's Hospital here in Phoenix, Arizona, off of Thomas. They didn't offer us a wheelchair or anything like that, even though the individuals, they were walking or whatever. That still don't matter. I grabbed the wheelchair and placed them in there, considering their medical episode before taking them to Phoenix Children's Hospital. We get to the front desk. We register them in, or they registered the person in. We told them what they were experiencing, etc., etc. We then went to go sit down and wait to be called. 20 minutes passed. A half an hour passed. 45 minutes passed. Mind you, random people coming and going were being seen before we, were seen. I understand that there were people in there prior to us. So yeah, naturally they were going to be seen. But I couldn't understand for the life of me, people that are just coming through the door that were, that registered themselves in or whatever, are now being seen. That don't make no sense to me when we've been here now a little over an hour. So I told my coworker, I'm going to the front desk to see what the fuck is going on, because this don't make no sense. This person, even though they haven't had that particular medical episode, but my thing is, would they have been seen a lot quicker had they fell out in the medical episode? More than likely, yeah. But because they didn't have no medical episode or whatever, and because of their insurance, which is Access Public insurance here in Arizona, the same insurance that I have, and because they are living in a group home setting, they made this person literally wait a little over an hour to be seen. When I went to the front desk to ask the woman with all that makeup on, cute little shape of whatever, child, look, y'all not fooling nobody. The doctors walking around with them tight ass scrubs on, dicks flapping all over the place. Y'all probably in them closets and in them rooms fucking and sucking and doing the most. Cause a lot of them women, shit, y'all damn scrubs, booty cheeks alone flapping all over. Child, please. Y'all more worried about what y'all look like in the motherfucking children's hospital versus helping the motherfucker. Y'all will help the individuals that got good insurance and paying good ass money. But when it comes to individuals that have public access, living in group homes or whatever, y'all already know that y'all not going to get too much money out of that situation. So y'all made this individual wait. The excuse that this trick gave me when I went to the front desk to see what the fuck was going on. Oh, well, we don't have the capacity, paraphrasing, we don't have the capacity to take on various different cases in the emergency room. So we take these individuals and give them a bed first. And then, if there's a bed available, then we'll call back. Basically, look. In a nutshell, this trick should have said, look, they means he. Anyway, he or they have public access motherfucking insurance, and they are part of a group home, and they're not going to be seen first. They're going to be seen when they get seen. These individuals that got good ass insurance from their jobs and whatever else, they're paying good ass money. Yeah, they're going to be seen because they keep this makeup on our faces. They keep this weave in our hair. They keep us looking good, and whatever else the case may be, when it should be. God did not deny children. Children are the first when it comes to the Bible and heaven and in the kingdom. Why are children being treated a particular way based upon status. America makes me fucking sick. This is a child or an adolescent that is experiencing various different forms of health issues, and because they have access public health, I knew it was a lie. Like I said, I have access, and I've been treated a particular way, like a fucking human science project. And the only reason why I was seen and treated to a degree is because they wanted that money. The only reason why this, and to be honest with you, we probably would have waited a lot longer, Phoenix Children's Hospital, had I not got up and got that lame ass motherfucking excuse why this individual has not been seen yet. And the fact that when I did go return to my coworker and the individual that was having the health concerns, we was mugging their ass at that front desk to the point where we made them uncomfortable, and they eventually called us back. When we got back there, I'm being nosy just to see how many open beds there were, and there was quite a few empty beds that we could have occupied a long time ago, you lying motherfuckers. Anyway, I usually don't have my cell phone out like that because I've been conditioned enough in life. To have my cell phone constantly in my motherfucking hands is just another form of me being conditioned by the anchors. And yeah. But my coworkers didn't mind having their cell phones out. Had they not had their cell phones out, I believe this individual would have been treated a particular way. And not that my coworkers not that my coworkers were recording them or anything like that. They were playing video games or whatever else. But because they had that cell phone out, it kept them motherfuckers staff members in check. They made sure this individual got the utmost respect and treatment because of this. But aside from, when I tell y'all they didn't want to look in child, they had to face us in order to take care of the individual. But if they could elude having their faces in the camera or whatever the case may be, or facing that phone, that's exactly what they did, because they didn't. Y'all weren't being recorded, even though y'all should have been. But long story short, y'all are just full of shit. To treat an individual, especially a child, the way that y'all did based upon status is bullshit. One of my coworkers at the same place of employment that I work at was telling me about their child and how they nearly, I'm not going to say cut their hand off, but they cut it wide open. They were rushed to the children's hospital. I'm not sure if it was Phoenix Children's Hospital, but they were rushed to a children's hospital. The staff seen that the child's hand was cut wide open, bleeding and all type of shit. From my understanding, they did not offer to wrap the wound up to stop the bleeding or anything like that. They didn't even help this woman and this child. The woman was so frustrated to the point, just like the Phoenix Children's Hospital with their lame ass excuses, this children's hospital gave this particular woman some lame ass excuses to the point where they said, fuck it, we'll just take them to our primary children's hospital and let them treat, because they took the child to a children's hospital that wasn't under their primary care. So anyway, they was even treated a particular way because of access or whatever. I'm just so thankful and happy and grateful to be getting ready to get pulled out of city life stimuli and systems that lie and are full of motherfucking bullshit, especially with children. I'm just happy to be leaving out of Arizona and entering into this wilderness of silence where I can deal with people when I want to. I can get stimuli if I choose to get that stimuli, but other than that, I want to be left the fuck alone. My number will get changed, and there were a handful of people in my life that I can give them my number once I leave out of Arizona. Blah blah blah. Nah, God showed me way too much A lot of people will not be getting my number moving forward. And I'm glad that I'm glad that Guy and I are making the decision to leave the past behind. Where the past, the past is called the past for a reason. Leave that shit behind, while fresh new doors open, and I can have more authentic relationships with people versus this surface ass bullshit that I've been having with individuals in my life. I just don't want it anymore. I know exactly what I want in my life, and this bullshit that I just don't. Yeah. Anyway, but. Wow, man, I'm trying to think of what else I can tell you guys, because it's all, well, it's 11, going on 11:30. I have to be at work at 1 o'clock. I still have a lot of things to do. I'll go until 2 hours, and then I'll end it. What else? I don't think I told you guys. I have 3 new feathered friends. I wanted them to be specific colors, either a light blue or albino, just pure white. I have one pure white albino parakeet, and his or her name is Chosen. I have a light blue colored parakeet, and his or her name is Effulgent. And I have one more, and his or her name is Freedom. They're not a replacement in regard to the parakeets that I've lost due to an unexpected death, and the last remaining 2 that was in the cage with those individuals that were in the cage with those parakeets that passed away. Remember, I lost the last 2 that were in the same cage as the other 2 that passed away due to me relapsing, being in Scottsdale, Arizona at the roadway inn. And remember, I told y'all I took the cage out to the car, and I squatted down to set the cage down, and I ended up falling, on my ass pretty much, and the cage came apart, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, those 2 birds got away. It took me a while to not replace them, but get new feathered friends, and I have 3 beautiful birds, very smart, and they will be going with me when we traverse through these states and end up where we're ending up at. What else do I need to tell you guys? Oh, what else do I want to tell you guys? Oh my goodness. So much. It's on the tip of my tongue, but it's probably best that I just go ahead and end this now. Oh, what I am going to tell you guys is that I have so many different episodes that I'm going to be uploading starting from now and going backwards. I have good interviews I have very good interviews with individuals here on Podbean that I want to upload. In a nutshell, you guys will still be entertained in your own little way, because I have plenty of episodes that I can share with you guys moving forward. But what I mainly wanted to do was just update you guys in regard to what is going on in my life currently. And beautiful things are happening. I bought my domain name in regard to my business. I've been working with ChatGPT, and ChatGPT led me to Wix website that basically builds websites from scratch. And I bought my domain name. I don't want to say it, but I bought the domain name, and I'm working on my website for my clients. I'm not a practitioner for nothing. I plan on having clients, not a whole bunch of clients, because I don't want to be like most doctors, pile upon pile in regard to clients and whatever the case may be. And you're never seen on time. You only get a little bit of time with the doctor or practitioner or whatever before they move on to the next person and, basically take your money. I'm not in it for that. I'm in it because I want to free you guys from various different stages of generational curses, addiction, or whatever else the case may be. So it will more than likely be one-on-one type of. I'm figuring it all out, plus merch and everything like that to go along with it. But it's all coming together, and once I pay for the LLC, I'll be good to talk about it or whatever else. But ChatGPT formed some bomb ass motherfucking my logo. My logo is the shit. ChatGPT did a good ass job in regard to creating my logo for, I said my business. It's for God's temple, or God's organization. And ChatGPT also used certain colors to represent the logo. I forgot what exact colors. I think there's gold, green, like a maroon color. ChatGPT did a good ass job with this logo. You know, we how can I say it? We what's the word? Damn. We redid the logo on a couple of occasions because there's some things that I liked and some things that I didn't. But once we did finalize it, man, oh my God, I want to show you guys, but I can't. I can, but I don't want to. I don't want to put it out there when it's not completed, because people, places and things can put negative energies on it, and it could just fuck up what God has going on. And once again, being corrupted by Satan way before my creation, because Satan knows that I'm marked. I thought I was marked by God in regards to these letter M's on my palms. I'm marked by the monad, which is a whole different ball game. God, Jesus comes from the monad. Long story, but the monad gave me these M's on my palms. And, you know, man, the fact that man did not guide me to any of this, the invisible did, is the main reason why all of my platforms pretty much have been changed to silence, because that will be my new name moving forward. I'm going to legally have my name changed to silence. Recovery with the invisible, because I am stone concrete in regard to what the invisible can do for your life. All of my life, practically, including the current, I have people in my life that will ignore me and discard me and whatever else. To be heard, not by man, to be heard by the invisible, and have your prayers answered, and have visions shown to you, and have God speak to you in whispers, in silence. And I can just imagine the feeling that some of the individuals in those biblical days that God came across, who he showed visions to, who he spoke to, who he guided, who he... I'm sorry, you guys, I keep hearing this noise. Who he exalted in the eyes of enemies. Reading how they wept in regard to being heard, especially when you have been discarded pretty much all of your life, even by your own motherfucking family. It's nice to know that God has not forgotten about me, and he hasn't forgotten about you guys either that are going through addiction and or the non. He hears you. He may not answer your prayers right then and there, because he don't have to. But when he does, he does. And the fact that he has shown me various different visions in regard to where my life is going and where it could have been a long time ago, but it just wasn't meant, because I had to go through some things. And I still have to mature. This is one reason why I'm not overseas yet, because I still have to be placed in that wilderness of silence in order to be able to handle the bigger blessing of them all, he's not going to give me anything that I can't handle. He knows that I can handle it, but spiritually, on a spiritually mature level, I'm just not there yet. So I still have to place myself in that wilderness of silence, and I'm free willingly entering into the unknown. That's what God wants. He likes that. When he told me it's time to pack my bags and get the fuck about it, I was quick to go to that storage unit and start shredding up papers and bring them. I was quick to go to that storage unit, take out stuff from that storage unit to bring back to my apartment or the apartment that I'm renting from, and shred that shit and just rid myself of that old life that I no longer want any motherfucking thing to do with. Tearing down old temples for a new means changing my identity in regard to my look, hair, facial hair. I don't give a fuck what it is. I don't want any parts of that devenom life, so to speak. Moving forward, it's the life of silence. And it's going to be a beautiful life moving forward. And I said, not only here on this platform, but my other social media platforms and in general, I refuse to allow my addiction to define who I am as spirit wrapped in this matter, living this earthly experience. I just simply refuse. And I may have in the past, but I haven't. I earned my certificates. I'm a practitioner now in regard to Zen meditation. I'm certified in mirror work. I'm certified in a lot of different things. You know, I just earned 2 certificates today in regard to my place of employment, and I'm going to continue to earn certificates and things of that nature. Sorry, you guys. I need to wrap this up because I don't want to get locked into the park. But anyway, I'm going to continue to earn those certificates, not because I need validation or I think that I'm somebody or whatever else. When God he didn't have 1 certificate, no degrees, none of that. He had knowledge and he had wisdom, and he knew, and let that be the reason. But these certificates are definitely going to benefit the cause at hand moving forward. All right, you guys, I have talked enough. I need to get my butt home, relax, meditate, read, spend time with the birds, spend time with the Father, spend time with my own damn self. I'm not sure if the energies that are residing with me are home or not, but I just be happy when it's all over and done with. I mean, no disrespect to anyone. I just want not my life to myself, because my life has never been to myself. It's always been God. But I just want to be left alone. And I don't want to be bothered with nobody else's energies except those from the invisible, my own, and those energies that are in alignment with me and my purpose. And not saying that this person's energies aren't in alignment with me or whatever, but I just been shown and I felt things that I just want to leave behind and just leave it behind, because not every person, place, or thing is meant to be a part of your path moving forward. And I completely understand that. If God wants it removed, he's going to remove it. And I already know that it's more than likely a seasonal thing and not a lifetime thing. And that's fine with me. Anyway, you guys, it is almost that time to end this particular recording or episode. I thank you all in advance for taking the opportunity to listen to it. And be a part of this platform, downloading, et cetera, et cetera. I really do appreciate each and every last one of you guys for your engagement. I appreciate each and every last country, city, town, and or state that has that has shown me love and support from the beginning until now. It's a whole, who is this? Oh, it's time to go. All right, you guys. I'm going to end this because somebody pulling up right now. Who is? Hold on, let me start my car because I don't want nobody coming to my car talking no shit. But you guys have a good one. And until my next episode, I was going to say namaste. I'm about to leave now. Yes, I am. Okay. I was going to say namaste, but I learned some things about namaste. I'm trying to stay away from anything that is centered around what doesn't align with me and my spiritual walk. Hold on. Okay. Well, anyway, with that being said, y'all have a good one. And until my next live episode, much love and take care of yourselves and be vigilant in regard to the anchors working on behalf of Satan and those demonic energies out there that are wanting to lead you to hell. All right, you guys, have a good one and bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you.